Try saying yes to your players instead of no. But of course, you can't always do this, so when should you? And what does saying yes exactly mean in our game's context? Well, improv theory has the answer, along with me. Today it's Harbinger. Hi everyone, I'm Andre. I'm a TTRPG mega fan and longtime improviser, and I'm here to share with you some more GM tips. What's the common understanding of yes and? Generally, it's I agree with your idea by saying yes. Yes, I love your idea. And then I say and to add something to it further to make it even better or extend it or go along with it. Beginners in improv and GMs taking this advice to heart will often take this as saying literal yes to the player's ideas as is, even when it will derail your session, the ethos of your setting, the fun of everyone else at the table. And I want to propose a more advanced understanding of what yes and would entail. Being on board with the reality or intention that someone is suggesting and giving them something extra to work with. I'll repeat that. Being on board with the reality or intention that someone is suggesting and then giving them something else to work with. Let's start with an obvious example of where you can just say yes. Your player is suggesting something that will circumvent your planned trap or dungeon room. Good, you've prepped for it. Use it later. Say yes and reward them for their ingenuity for bypassing it. Put it in your prepped stash of cool rooms and adventures and traps and whatever, maybe talking to an NPC, someone they never got to meet. Bring them in later. It's there, it's ready to be plugged and played. By rewarding their ingenuity and being creative, you are incentivizing players to use creative problem solving, to not just be railroaded by you, to not just listen passively to your story. It makes them think, oh, next time I'm going to again think outside of the box. We want to incentivize that type of play. If something doesn't derail your campaign, if it's just a little challenge or obstacle along the way that won't change the overarching plot and ethos and idea of your setting, by all means, say yes to their cool idea. Throw your prep out the window. It doesn't matter. Again, you can hopefully use it again sometime. So what if your player suggests something that takes them outside the scope of your adventure and what you feel is going to fit the session that day? You can still say yes, but it's also okay to add a but afterwards. But I want to argue, add a soft but and not a hard but. Focus all. Mine's out the gutter. Focus. If they're going to bypass most of the adventure or there's info they don't have and not knowing that this will just kill the party or something disastrous will happen, just make it clear to them. Instead of saying no, rather make it clear that these will be the consequences. I've said before from the Into the Odd system, the great GM section, which I have a video of, you can almost never give your players too much information. Tell them this is what's going to happen likely. Here are going to be trade-offs. You're going to lose so much time. People that you care about will be threatened, will be at real risk of being hurt. You're not going to force them to not take their weird course of action. But tell them what the consequences might be. Now, of course, you can't make it overly punitive and so obvious, well, it's fine if you do that, but it will be disaster for you. That's actually saying no. You want to give them a legitimate choice. And this is a real art at the table to go, here are the options. You're suggesting this new one. By all means, it is an option. There are maybe some strict trade-offs to doing that. And you need to think of a legitimate, real trade-off. And if they then want to do it, they could still do it. If the players give you an idea you feel you can really not work with, you want to just say no, it just wouldn't work, I'd say rather ask them more questions on why they wanted to do that. Do you think it's a great idea for where the plot must go? Do you feel that you just wanted your character to look amazing in that situation? Or maybe you were just being a little bit naughty and facetious in the moment, and you were just like, that would be crazy to do, but maybe you're not too emotionally attached to that idea. I would say ask them, okay, why do you want to do this? I'm not going to say no to you. I applaud the participation, the cool idea. It is actually a kind of a difficult one for me to work with, and it's okay to say that out of game. It's a difficult one for me to work with. So, what did you envision with this? How about maybe you strike a compromise? Maybe you only say partially yes. Maybe you find a different solution. Maybe they tell you, oh, they really want this for this and this reason. Then why not say, I can still give you that? How about this alternative? And we can workshop those difficult ones and iron them out instead of like, no. And to be fair, I didn't even think of saying this, but obviously, if a player you constantly with that particular player have to have that, conversation. They constantly want to throw ideas that derail everything. By all means, have a chat outside of the table, one-on-one. Maybe that player is not a good fit for your table. That can also happen. We know this. But good communication, like in life, is what's going to help people feel valued and that their ideas are actually being used at the table, even if it's just the essence of that idea, the reason why they wanted to do it, if not the details. For most other ideas, you can just say yes and start flexing that most dreaded of GM skills that you should practice a lot and start learning, and that is just uncertainty. Learn to flex that muscle and to be uncertain at the table and just see what's going to happen next. Take it one scene at a time and try it out, and you'll soon find your sessions to be even more magical. And even if you think, well, I'm not a great improviser, just do it one step at a time. Try saying yes and seeing where it goes, and be part of a collaborative story that you tell instead of you having this certainty and feeling comfortable in your rails that's going in a certain direction. The GM saying often goes, prep situations, not plots. Prep things that could happen, might happen, NPCs with vague motivations, where you and your players just bounce ideas off of each other, trying your best to go, I love your idea. And yes, let's do it. And here's my contribution to it. Or how about we change it this way? Are you okay with that? Once this becomes normal at your table, everyone feels like they're all storytellers. I don't think a GM is a storyteller. Everyone's the storyteller. You're just a referee. Some games call you the referee. You're just there to do some basic prep for a setting and create some situations, and then it unfolds. And we should all learn to say yes to each other a lot more. Till next time, all. Thanks for watching, and I think it wants something from us. Where did that come from?